Alright, so here we have our 2008 Kawasaki Brute Force 750. This is the wife's bike, and we just got it all put back together. It's got a new motor in it from DSC. It's had brand new heads put in there and all the stage 1 kit. We decided to go ahead and go with that. That's a little bit of a step up. So put all the plastics back on it, and now she just informed me that she wants to sell it. So I brought it out front, take a video of it, take a few pictures, list it on the sale. So, nice and cold. Been sitting out here getting washed. Alright. Alright, so we'll let her warm up just a touch. And, you know, it's obviously not going to smoke, it's a brand new motor. Alright, some of the features of the bike: we got 29.5-inch Outlaws on it. It's had a new fuel pump put in the gas tank. It's got a 2-inch lift on it. It's got a new primary and secondary clutch. You'll see that in the pictures, along with a new clutch cover. Of course, a new belt while we were in there. Really, the only thing that we did not touch, well, we had new seals put in the front end. The only thing we did not touch was the fuel injection. We had that cleaned, but didn't have it replaced. Alright, some of the features of the bike. My wife's crazy about stereo, so the bike's been snorkeled. So anyway, snorkel my ATV stuff. And my wife has these Ys that I bought, along with the waterproof speakers, the amp. I'll show you how all that works here in just a second. We've added a few things to it. It's got a Warn 2500 winch. It's their XT 2500, so it's the extreme terrain synthetic rope. It's the one that can do all kinds of work and never give you a problem. The radiator's been relocated. Of course, it's my wife's bike, so it does have a custom radiator cover on it. Oh, and don't let me forget the Zero Dark LED light, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But that's, you know, look up Zero Dark, you'll see that that's not a cheap knockoff. Zero Dark and Rigid are pretty comparable. All right, so the bike's got 1167 miles on it. $329 hours. I don't know if you see that, but I'll put some pictures out there. Runs really good. Alright. Now, up front, which I have not hooked up because of the new engine, is I'm a freak about brand new engines and temperatures and things of that nature. So, it's got the 2-pass aluminum radiator on it, and it has an oil cooler on it. I have everything for the oil cooler. I have the mock-up lines. I've already mocked them up to go through those 2 holes. I have the sandwich adapter. I have everything. I just have not bought the high-pressure lines for it yet. The other thing, talking about temperature, is that I put an inline temperature gauge on the thing. It's a liquid filled from ESR. You can look them up online. They're really good. It's a fantastic piece to have. Alright, so on the side, we have 3 toggle switches. This one, the closest to the front, is a spare. It does nothing. I had the wires back behind the cowl tied up and sealed off. This one is for the front LED light, so we'll walk around. She's on, you'll see that all the LEDs are on. This thing never gets water in it, no condensation, no none of that. And because I'm a freak about temperature, my fan switch override. So now the fan is running. Okay, so the bike's in really good shape. You'll see that there are a couple places where some of the paint has come off. The inside of the snorkels, we had red accents on it. You'll see some of the red LEDs on it. It's got some red LEDs behind the radiator cover, all that kind of good stuff. Like I said, it's my wife's bike, so we did red accents. You want them to match the Brute Force outline. And it's got a couple scratches back here on the rack. At one point in time, we took the rack and had the local automotive group paint the rack automotive pink. And boy, that made it real hard for me to ride. So I convinced her to go back to the hunter green look to match the rack. So it's more like a second look seat cover. For you guys who ride sport bikes, you'll know what that is. It's been wired. We do a lot of night riding. This is for the trail, the whip that goes on the back. It's the Night Stalker. We're gonna hold on to that one. Anyway, bike runs really good, no problems with it. New engine, of course, so really can't have any problems. 4-wheel drive works great, and we'll have it up for sale here. Before I turn this off, I guess it's important that I show everyone the stereo. So the stereo hooks to your standard iPod. Forgive me, I'm gonna just go ahead and get this taken care of and hooked up. Plug my 3.5mm line into it here. Okay, I've got standard iPod. Okay, so we turn that on, and we reach over here, turn the switch on. Okay, and this is the so let's get on the bike.
Grab a little shiner box.
So the radio's real nice and loud. Turn it down just a little bit. Speakers also come out the front, so people can hear you coming down the road. And of course, I don't normally keep my iPod here. We have a cable that goes out of this. This is just one I had in my Jeep. It comes out of there, and we stick our iPod in the pouch. Now, let me turn this down. Those of you who've ever worried about a bike being swam because it's got snorkels and all that, remember, this is my wife's bike. So, the bike is super clean underneath here. You want to know what the tattletale is? At the bottom of the seat. And people can clean up the seat. Look at the seat cushion. Let me see if I can get my finger over it. Look at the seat cushion. So, obviously this bike does not swim. So, and for those of you who are noticing, I can put the battery hold down back on it. Like I said, I just put all the plastics back on it. Anyway, this bike doesn't swim. She trail rides. Does a really nice job with the 2-inch lift and the 29.5-inch Outlaws.